Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Flagler podcast studio. And today, the hot take with Chrissy and Will. This is going to be a great show. We're discussing water safety. But first, a word from our sponsor, Julie Sabine. And today we're discussing keeping children safe. And Chrissy is actually up in North Carolina. We're going to have her on a little remote here. We've set up a FaceTime on the cell phone. But co-host Will is here, and Will, go ahead and take it over.
All right. Hey, welcome. And we have two guests here in the studio. First, we have a swim instructor, Susanna, and we have Nicole.
Hi.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, let's start. You introduce yourself. Huh?
All right. I'm Susanna St. Peter. I am an infant swimming resource instructor, ISR, and I teach babies and children how to survive in the water. So I teach survival swimming.
Excellent. So, and also, what about what are the age groups from, said infant all the way to
6 months to 6 years old.
Oh, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. All right. Next.
I'm Nicole Leslie, and I have two children that are autistic, and I'm just here to talk about our experiences with them.
Excellent. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
So, Chrissy, we're going to bring you up now. All right, let's see if it works. You're on.
Hi.
Hello.
Felt compelled to do this show after a tragic accident that happened last week. I spoke to 4-year-old Waylon Cash's mom. Her name is Kristen briefly last night, and I'd like to dedicate this show to Waylon. Waylon and his siblings on Sunday, November 17th were at Central Park in Ormond Beach playing on the playground around 12 o'clock when Waylon went missing. If anyone is familiar with Central Park in Ormond Beach, there is a park where kids play literally 20 feet from a huge pond, which fish and turtles and alligators, a whole bunch of wildlife is in. He went missing around 12 o'clock, and unfortunately they found his body at 9 o'clock and recovered it from the pond. I wanted to talk about the importance of swim safety, and hopefully Ms. Susanna can help us as far as if people don't have the resources to be able to get the classes, maybe we can help in the area and help families find the resources so they can have their children swim safe. So again, this is going to be dedicated to Waylon and his family, and I will post a GoFundMe after the show tonight on my page so people can donate. Loman's Funeral is nice enough to donate money so that pay for their services. So with that, I'm going to send it over to Susanna. I'd like to talk about water safety in general, why it's so important, especially with children in Florida.
Well, the number one cause of death in children in the United States is for children under 4 years old is drowning. So it's a very, very serious problem. And there's water everywhere, especially here in Florida. So it's really important that children do learn how to be able to, figure out or find, go to a safe place or be in a safe place or, end up in a safe place or know how to save themselves if they end up in a body of water alone.
So you're a swim instructor, is that correct?
Yes.
How long have you been doing it?
18 years.
18 years. Well, you're a seasoned
I'm
swim
seasoned,
instructor.
Yes, I am.
So you instruct children with autism or?
I do. I have plenty of many students in the past, but I am certified with autism and neurodiversity training. I have a certification in aquatics with that.
Wow, that's amazing. And Nicole,
Yes.
you have two autistic children?
Yeah, I have a 6 and 8-year-old.
So this issue that happened in Ormond must have kind of hit home with you.
Always does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time you hear autistic kids, they wander. It doesn't matter where they are, but especially around water, they're just drawn to it. And yeah,
Yeah.
every time I feel sad.
Yeah. Well, we have a caller calling in. Let's switch over and see if we can pick that up. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead and speak.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Tiff.
You're on the air.
Oh, hi. Thank you. Finally got through.
Oh, no, perfect. Thank you for calling. So, you don't have to say your name, but we're discussing today water safety with children and a little bit of an emphasis on children that have autism.
So,
Yes, I was just calling in. I actually am a former senior child protective investigator with Department of Children and Families. So as you can imagine with that, we've seen a lot with accidental drowning being one of the number one concerns for children in the state of Florida. So I was just calling to give some input or any information that you guys might be looking for while you're doing this.
So obviously you heard about the incident that happened in Ormond,
Yes.
and as an investigator, what would be some of the steps that you would go through?
So normally when we had a concern for water safety or like in my case, I actually had worked about 10 years ago, the double drowning case here in Volusia County, where it was a 1 and a 2-year-old that were found in the pool in the backyard. That's actually standard on any case we work on, whether it's a safety issue or not, is just to check the home and include in our assessment any concerns for water, whether it be pools, ponds, lakes, anything like that. We highly recommend that fencing or gates, or if it's a pool, a gate around a pool or a cover of some sort. We also, in the cases where there were kids that wandered, because, as a parent, I know you take your eyes off of them for a second, and we used to get calls all the time with kids found wandering down the street. So because of that concern, we always make sure that if there is a pool and for some reason the family can't afford to do the gate or the fencing that's needed to protect that water or the children.
Uh-oh. I think they just lost signal. Are you there? No, unfortunately, we just lost the signal from her. Maybe she'll call back in just a second.
That was good when she was talking about the gates, and
Yeah.
I have 2 at least on my doors, everything for them, kids locks, just because they go in. My daughter flooded my bathroom with the tub because they like water,
Yeah.
any kind of water. They're so interested in it, and
Yeah.
I have to keep.
Are they nonverbal? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, they're
see.
nonverbal.
Oh, see, yeah,
both of them.
Yeah. That
So-
makes it more of a challenge.
It's a big
Yes,
challenge.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, what are some other, besides the gates around the pool, what are some other safety measures that you can share with the audience as far as house, extra locks, things like that to prevent, especially working with non-verbal autistic kids, they do like to wander and go out of the house. What are some safety measures that you take at your house?
So at my house, they might say I'm overprotective, but I mean, I read these articles, I see everything, and you have to be with a nonverbal autistic child to know their habits, behaviors. But I have locks on each door. I have locks on my garage door, my front door, my back door. And then I have a gate on it. I have a fence around it, and a screened-in porch. I mean, we took every precaution because they just wander. They can't yell help. They can't tell me. They'll be crying outside and I can't figure it out. So it's very hard to know what they're thinking or what they're going to do next.
Sure.
So I just keep locks on, you know, doors, screens, and I watch them like a hawk. We're outside playing yesterday and the gates open so they can go in the little hot tub. But I mean, as a special needs parent, I mean, that says it all. Special needs. You need to be there. You need to be more aware where your children are. And, you just have to step up a little bit, pay more attention, because in the case of nonverbal, it's hard.
Yes.
And, you just, I mean, parents just need to, you take the lessons, you do all you can, but sometimes autistic children just, swimming lessons, my kids have tried them. My one daughter didn't get it, doesn't have muscle tone, and it's really hard. My son kind of learned on his own a little bit, but he had swimming lessons to go off of, and he can swim. But my daughter, I can't get anything done around the yard because it's just you constantly have to watch them.
Bring up a good point, Nicole, and I wanted to ask Miss Susanna. So when you're working with children with autism that are nonverbal, how much different is the swimming lesson? And if they do have poor muscle tone, what are some ways that people and parents can still protect their children or their children from water safety or anything happening, God forbid, like this?
Right. So even infants don't have a whole lot of muscle tone. But so when we work with children, the basis of ISR is completely based on behaviorism. So it's all about positive reinforcement, and it's nonverbal. I can't tell an infant, to roll over and float because, I have to all do it based on, behaviorism and positive reinforcement. So I've even taught children who don't speak English. So that's one of the reasons that ISR is so successful, because we're not we're basing it all on that, and even with a child with low muscle tone, I can still teach them, if they were to fall in the water, to at least roll back and float. They can still float, with low muscle tone.
What does ISR stand for?
Infant Swimming Resource.
Infant Swimming Resource.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Do you, and Miss Susanna, do you have something locally for people in this area that will come to you, or do you come to their pools, or how does that work?
Typically, they come to my pool.
Okay.
I do travel to other people's pools, but it just depends on my schedule and my availability. I want to just make sure that people understand that there are scholarships out there. If they find that they can't afford the lessons, there are several organizations that will make sure that the children whose families can't afford the lessons can get them. And also the state of Florida just passed legislature where they give vouchers to families who can't afford swim lessons. So we're also working with them with that.
If you can give me that information, I'd love to share it on my page.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast,
Yep.
because a lot of people don't have the means.
Exactly.
Because it is expensive, some of these lessons. But if they don't have the means, if they could get a voucher or somebody to help with the cost, hopefully that alleviates the financial pressure and allow people to have their children fully prepared.
Exactly. I did also wanted to mention, all the different layers of safety that, Nicole was even doing. And door alarms and pool alarms are also a really good idea too. So you can hear if a door opens or something and you're alerted. Do you have that?
Well, I had it, but my kids would play with it, and it's like, so I was like, that's going off.
I can see that happening.
Oh yeah.
well, Will, you as a detective,
Working outside to get motion by the pool that'll set it off to know that something's back there, because
Yes, there are things
if
like
you have
that.
a ring camera just sets off the motion, is there a specific pool alarm?
Yes. Yep. And it'll detect a splash. There are some that do that.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look into that.
I'll look up that information to share because that would be really helpful.
Yeah.
Now, Will, in your opinion,
Mhm.
I know Waylon's mom wants to start a campaign to have fencing put around parks or big bodies of water like this that children have parks by.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is going to be an uphill battle because there's so many ponds and lakes in Florida that have parks by it. Financially, what do you think that we can do? Or like, do you think there is something to do, like to be able to push this issue and maybe get fences around parks that are by bodies of water?
Yes, I mean, maybe we can go to city council meetings, voice opinions because and concerns, because it does affect the community, and they're elected officials, and they have to, provide us with, security and safety for us and the children. And you have to think of it another way. What if an alligator gets out of the water, and unfortunately. This is Florida. You're right. It has there's a lot of wildlife, and we can't really put a price on anyone's lives. We just can't put a price on it.
It's also an uphill battle. Yeah, a lot of properties don't want to see that.
Yes,
and
yes.
Parks, and they don't want to interrupt any other people's view.
Right.
So you got to have numbers when you go.
Yeah, you could even do a chain link or something.
Yeah.
Actual physical parks. I've been there before. They actually have signs. Don't go swimming because of wildlife with the alligator and snakes, but nothing says, water safety or anything warning children or at the park, to be careful and watch children because there is no fence there. And in Palm Coast, most of our parks are fenced. I don't know why Volusia has so many parks that aren't fenced. Maybe they'll get somewhere with this campaign in honor of Wayland, be able to do that down in Volusia.
Well, and clearly it is a safety hazard because this isn't the first time something's happened there. Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
They've had accidents there before?
Yeah, I think second. Yeah.
Say that again, Chrissy.
This is the second death that I've been told of a little child drowning at that park.
At the same park.
And,
Yes,
it's
sir.
not just about children too, because my experience, my grandma has Alzheimer's, and there's a lot of older people, especially in that area of town center and throughout Florida, and they tend to wander too. So as a whole, it's not just about the children too. This podcast in particular is about what happened in Wayland, but also you got to think the adults in the area that might have cognitive issues or that have a tendency to wander. We have to worry about their safety as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, my wife and I my mother-in-law has dementia, and we're experiencing that right now. And we keep all the doors and everything locked because you never know.
Yeah, and if they're injured too, or like
Yeah.
it would be going around water easily to slip and fall in.
Yeah.
I have a brother-in-law
What do you
who
think
experienced that.
gravitates children, especially on the spectrum, to water? I know a lot of kids are drawn to water, but I feel like I've been around regular children and autistic, and for some reason, autistic children really tend to gravitate towards that water, which is very scary because they can't talk.
Curiosity.
Well, actually, more than curiosity, water to autistic children, they might be attracted to the sparkle of the water with the sun shining on it. They might be attracted to splashing. They may be attracted to that. What they really also, a lot of kids with all the sensory overstimulus, they find it very calming to be in the water, and especially to be submerged because it quiets all of the stuff that's stimulating them. So that's why it can be incredibly dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, they go towards sensory, so water, the feeling.
Oh, they love the feeling.
I mean,
Yeah.
everything about it is
Yep.
just
Yep.
exciting to them.
Going back to your low muscle tone, when the kids say they can't swim, like the babies even, when you teach them how to float, how many classes does that take, and what are you actually teaching them to raise their face up? Or
Yeah, that's a great question. Typically, lessons are they're 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And the reason is because we don't have most children and autistic children as well don't have a whole lot of it's hard to keep their attention for a long period of time.
Oh yeah.
So we limit it to 10 minutes so we have their attention and they know what they're focusing on for that small amount of time, and then we build on that on a daily basis. Sometimes it takes, especially autistic children, a little bit longer because they may not be having a good day. We might have to stop because something might have been triggered that they're unhappy about. But typically it takes about 4 to 6 weeks just to, for them to go from being face down and then rotating their bodies to face up so they can float and get air. And somebody that buys them a little bit of time for somebody to come get them.
Let's take a minute and go back over our sponsor, Julie Sabine. I think it's really important that we thank Julie for sponsoring this show because it's extremely important to get the information out.
Yes.
So Susanna, you have worked with a number of children for the past 18 years or so.
Yes, well over 1,000.
1,000. Have you found any that can't learn to swim?
Nope.
No.
Nope. At least I mean, there's not a single student that I haven't at least been able to teach how to roll back and float.
Roll back and float. Yeah, extremely important.
Yep.
I'm a master scuba instructor, and so
my dad was too.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, I enjoy exactly what you said. The peace of going underwater and then the noise goes away. And well, for me, I don't have to listen to anybody, but I can understand the peace that they feel. With that, it's amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah, and the children once they've mastered the skill, of being able to swim and or float, or swim and float, they're very proud of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible, and what you're doing is incredible. And Nicole, having a couple of children that you have to watch out for all the time, I'm sure it's extremely taxing, as it is with having any child, but yours a little bit more.
Yeah.
And hats off to you for doing everything that you're trying to do for them.
I love them. I've never changed them.
Of course.
It's a job, but it's a
Yeah,
good one.
well, know, exactly. And Will, as a detective in your past,
Sure.
did you have to ever deal with situations that involved, sadly, children around water?
Well, I was actually a swim instructor back when I was.
You were too?
Yeah, when I was 18 at the YMCA. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it was way back in the day. yeah, no, but that's junior lifeguard.
He's a
Lifeguard too.
Baywatch.
Yeah, I was lifeguard too. Yeah, but no. Also, my partner in the private investigation agency, he's a homicide detective, and unfortunately, there were more than what you would ever could imagine or even want to see.
Yeah.
The
There.
leading cause of death of children in Florida is drowning.
It
Right.
is.
Yeah.
Even
Children under 4 years old.
yeah,
Yep.
adults too. I mean, and think about cars. Drive a
And-
car into a lake or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it says children
Yeah.
with.
You see, this is a nationwide problem too, because how
Yes.
many celebrities or athletes that are famous have spoken about their children drowning.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
In an incident like this, it's all over the place.
Bodie Miller is a great example. His daughter who drowned. And also there was a football player in Tampa.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that was just like 6 months ago or something like that.
I think it was about a year ago.
Okay, yeah. I remember reading about some of them.
Yeah.
Well, time does fly.
It does.
So,
Yes.
it's almost Christmas.
Oh, it waits on no one.
No, it does not.
Yes.
So in this instance where the subject has been brought up because of the situation that happened in Ormond, and I think it's wonderful that the child's mom wants to start an organization to fence off everything to try and protect not just children with special needs but everybody
Everyone.
around it. What was your feelings when you first heard about it?
My heart just sunk. It's preventable.
Yeah.
And
It is.
this could have been prevented just with a simple fence
Fence or lessons.
or lessons.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Too, after speaking with the mom yesterday, they've gotten a lot of hate. And it's not the dad's fault, it's nobody's fault. Things happen, kids wander off, and like Nicole said, I've watched her children on occasion by myself, it is difficult. You really have to keep an eye, and sometimes it does get taxing, and things happen, and we just got to remember they lost the child, and there shouldn't be hate about this
No,
position.
no hate at
We're
all.
just spreading awareness to
Sympathy.
prevent something like this from happening again.
It's a tragic
People need to have
accident.
a little compassion
Yeah.
during this time.
Kids move like lightning. You know?
Yeah. And with autistic children, I was reading it's 160 times more likely for them to drown.
160 times more likely.
160
Wow.
more times
That's
than an
unbelievable.
average child. Yeah.
Mm.
And
That's
it's the
unbelievable.
leading cause in the ASD, the autistic spectrum disorder. Drowning is.
Wow.
So it just needs to be like rocketed attention.
Yeah, and there's no hate here towards the family. This
No,
it's
absolutely.
just sympathy. We want to educate people so that this doesn't happen to other people,
Yeah.
if preventable.
And
Yeah.
it
She
is.
said something about a lot of people have been sending hateful things to her. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention that we need to have a little compassion.
I
Well,
do get that as
People
a parent.
suck.
Yeah.
Yes.
People are always going to attack,
Right.
the
It's
parents.
judgmental until it happens to you and you're actually in that situation. You shouldn't
We-
judge somebody or what they've been through.
We have a caller calling in. Let's see if before they hang up
Oh.
again. Okay, I think they hung up. Oh, and they're calling back again.
Oh, good.
Hello, are you there?
Hi, I'm here.
Excellent, excellent.
Hi, Chelsea.
Hey, Susanna.
Apparently, you know each other. What's your experience, Chelsea?
And your reviews, because I'm really looking
Oh.
at her number.
What's your experience with the swim lessons?
Yeah, the ISR lessons. Yeah, so back in 2021, we signed up our oldest daughter to just take some, ISR lessons. We have a pool. We live on water, just to kind of be safe if she were ever to fall in, that she can float or get to the wall and get out. Earlier this year, our youngest daughter was diagnosed with autism back in March. And with a lot of autistic kids, she gravitates toward water. And again, we live on a canal, we have a pool. So we wanted to make sure that we got her some ISR lessons. That way, if she were ever to leave our site for any moment and go to the canal or go to the pool, she'll be able to float on her back until someone finds her. So that was our biggest concern, especially with her being diagnosed with autism. And Susanna has been amazing, both with my oldest daughter and now with Savannah. And we could not be more thankful for Susanna's help with this program.
So it sounds like you have a good review there.
Yeah. That's a good one.
We love her. And, again, with our youngest being diagnosed with autism, it's a scary, scary thought about anything ever happening. And we just wanted to give her, all the support that we can and making sure that if for whatever reason, she were to fall in to any type of body of water, she is able to float until someone is able to find her. So
How old is your child?
she's 2. She'll be 3 in February.
So at this age, she's already able to, attempt to save herself should she fall in.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been 4 or 5 weeks in the program this time with Susanna. And right now, as soon as she kind of goes in, she's already turning herself over and floating.
That's
That's
So,
amazing.
we're not quite through the program, but it's just amazing to see that she automatically wants to just turn on her back and float.
It really is.
And I'm
It
almost
is.
wondering, with her comment, too, I'm almost wondering if people should have a support group, because I know children with autism that have autism sometimes they get frustrated because they're not getting the results as fast, and they need to be a little bit more patient. Maybe if they had support to show that it will come in time, you just have to keep practicing it. Maybe that could also help out people that get discouraged by that.
And caller, how many weeks has your child been in the program?
I think it's been 4 or 5 weeks, probably about, I want to say almost 20 sessions now.
So I think that this is going to be her 5th week.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
So 5 weeks and already able to roll on her back to help save herself.
Correct.
Absolutely
And
amazing.
only being 2, so it's
2, yeah.
quite amazing too. And autistic, again, it's harder to teach an autistic kid, but I mean, Susanna has been amazing with it. She's the only one I would recommend. So, you know, I just say if anyone has, even, you know, not just an autistic child, but anyone just looking for that extra level of safety with their child and pools and water, please go see Susanna. She's amazing.
Sold.
I know. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. So Susanna, is the speed of learning 4 to 6 weeks normal?
Yes, very
Yeah.
typical. Actually, she's doing really well for her age. Being autistic, that she's right on target.
That
Excellent.
that really blows me away.
Excellent.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that with us, caller.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, take care.
Have
Bye.
a great day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's amazing. 4 to 6 weeks, and they're able to save themselves,
Yep.
or at least try to save themselves.
Yep.
While they wait for their parent to
Or anyone.
or anyone to
Yep.
discover that they're missing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
How long do you think a child can, in Susanna's experience, how long do you think a child can float before they start to have,
Well,
like, how much time does that buy you?
it buys a lot of time. Typically, once a child learns how to roll back and float, they can float for up to an hour. It takes a lot less energy to float than it does to tread water. In fact, I have a funny story. My husband decided to become certified in scuba. And
Smart
so
man. I like that.
And so, well, he wanted to get lobster in mini season and was having a hard time down there in Key West without it.
Go on that trip.
Yeah. But anyway, he was supposed to tread water, I believe, for 20 minutes. And I don't know.
10.
Is it only 10? Okay. So anyway, he
long time, yeah.
always heard me say it takes less energy to float as opposed to tread water. So he floated. He just put his head up and his chin up and floated the whole time.
Years ago, when I went through my, I forget which dive master program, we had to tread water for 10 minutes, but we had to do it with our hands over our head,
Oh,
Oh,
kicking to
Oh,
hold yourself up.
my.
Yeah, not easy,
no.
but we did it.
yeah, you could float with your hands up.
Yeah. No, we weren't allowed to float.
Yeah, work
That's
smart,
cheating.
not hard.
That's right.
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Is there a month for water safety awareness?
I believe it's May.
That's my month. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Nicole, now that you've heard these various, recommendation one there, that review was amazing.
That's 5 stars.
That's 5
I'm getting her number after this. I
So,
gotta-
do you think that you'll give Susanna a shot to help with your younger child?
Definitely. My 6-year-old, first 3 lessons were half an hour, and she couldn't even connect with her
Oh.
enough to touch her.
Mm.
So you have to pay for those lessons, and they have to just connect with each other because they're scared of people at first. You have to be around them a few times sometimes to connect with autistic children. They don't like change
No.
at
Yeah.
all.
Nope. They like routine.
They will, yep. And you get tantrums, and they're, like she said, if they're not having the lesson that day, it's gone. I mean, you're not doing anything with an autistic child. And you got to come back another day on a good mood with
Yeah.
nothing triggered
Yeah.
and hope for better results. I mean, you just got to get them in the routine to go out and see Susanna and then start the lessons.
Even with, excuse me.
That brings a good point, Miss Susanna. When you are doing swimming instructions and say, do you get kids that are traumatized by the water, especially if they have autism?
No. A lot of people mistake crying for trauma. And it's actually just, especially with younger children or children who are nonverbal, it's their way of complaining. It's their way of communicating. It's their way of saying, I'm not comfortable. This is new. I don't know her, eventually that stops because they eventually, get to know me. That's one of my biggest, goals, especially in the beginning of lessons, is to earn the children's trust and to build their confidence. I think it's really, really, really important that happens, and we end up having a connection. The lessons are one-on-one teacher-student, so you're only working with one child at a time every 10 minutes. So the good news is that, I'm able to spend that time and establish a connection with that child, even if it's just playing with a toy outside of the pool at first.
Yeah.
They have to get to know me. I completely understand that. So that's,
They have to feel safe.
they have to feel safe. Absolutely. And at first they don't, I mean, it's a completely new environment for most children. And that was something else I wanted to bring up when we were talking about why autistic children are also attracted to the water. Another reason is because they may have a history in the water with maybe their parents. It's a happy, connection that they have, and they want to experience that whether or not that the parents in the water, or not. That's another reason that they're attracted.
My husband jokes and always say they're trying to go back to the amniotic fluid. And I was like, honey, that's not why they're comfortable.
No.
But
You know, a baby
Hey.
needs full in that amniotic fluid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Susanna, how would somebody get a hold of you if they wanted to enroll
Well,
their children?
Or if they're not here in the Flagler County area, you can always go to www.infantswim.com. There's an instructor locator right there. You can find an instructor closest to you. If they want to get a hold of me, I'm at swimwithsusanna.com, and I can give you my phone number.
Sure, go ahead.
Give me information, share it on my page to everybody. That would be awesome.
Okay, yeah.
But go ahead and give out your number now.
It's 386-793-5656.
One more time.
386-793-5656.
That's amazing. And from what I've heard, you're the go-to person.
There's a few others. There's another instructor with ISR here in Flagler County. Her name is Amy Tincher. She's wonderful as well.
I've met her in the past.
I've heard great things about Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chrissy, I think we are coming about to the end. Do you have any closing statement?
No, I just wanted to, again, just say we dedicated this show to Waylon Day in his honor and memory, and keep their parents in your thoughts and prayers. And if you don't have swimming lessons set up for your children, please do it right away. Call Amy or Susanna. It's very important we start spreading the awareness for this. And
Yeah.
I hope everyone has a great day and a great holiday.
Fantastic. And Susanna, any last statement?
I'm on the spot.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You've been doing great.
Yeah, just do whatever you can to ensure the safety of your children. It's really important, and it happens to anyone. It can happen to anyone's family, as we were talking
Yeah.
about earlier. Celebrities, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, and it's the people who don't think it's gonna happen. It happens to.
It's
so
tragic. It's
it
tragic.
is.
yeah.
You're on the hot seat now, Nicole. Any last statement?
My last statement is happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
There
Happy
you go.
Thanksgiving.
Stay safe.
Yes, and happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for coming in, and also the callers. Thanks for calling in and sharing information here. And that's like I say, it's just all about awareness and prevention.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is something that we can do as a community together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
So important.
very important.
So, Chrissy, you're going to be live in studio next week, right? So that I don't have to figure out how to do this. Awesome. Well, we're going to sign out with our sponsor, and then we'll be done. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Please get a hold of Susanna or some other person that is properly qualified to help teach your children. Safety is number one, and we're not here to put anybody down. This is for education, and I think we have something that we can learn from what we found out today. Have a great day. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you next week.